And we are alive. And good to go. Whew, boy. Water. That's just the not quite. Not quite. Howdy, see it. They're around for just a little bit longer. Howdy, clown. Good to see you. Move that to the back real quick. I've got something cooking here. You'll see. You'll see. You'll see. Eventually. So how's everyone doing? It's been, I think, a week, maybe? Not sure. I do not keep track of time very well. Incredible visual. Right? Howdy, Arrow. I assure you it's not as ominous as it sounds. Surviving job training, it's rough. You'll get through it. I believe in you. Ooh. Okay, move the mic. I really do need to get a better setup. I'm sick of having to choose between audible breathing and dying from heat exhaustion. I didn't know this was a coward stream. Pub, how long have you known me, bud? It's always a coward stream. I have always been a coward. Alright? But in this instance, I am a coward for very specific reasons. So, let's see. I should probably wait for Merrick to get here, assuming that he will show up at all. But, as you may notice, we aren't playing Valorant. If you are able to see... I don't know if the Go Live notifications only show up on mobile notifications, or if they also show up on the desktop version in some way, shape, or form. But Valorant failed the vibe check, personally. Mostly because of Vanguard. Alright, and I'm gonna... Cards on the table here. This is me just being superstitious. I say it's failed the vibe check because there's most likely... Not most likely. There is definitely nothing wrong at all, but it has failed the vibe check in terms of what I am personally comfortable with having on my computer. So, if you don't know, to install Valorant, you also need to install Vanguard anti-cheat. And anti-cheat is whatever. You know, I'm generally pretty comfortable with having to download other things that come with my games sometimes. Except, so I tried to start up Valorant yesterday just to see if it would work. And I was playing the little training mission that it boots you into a little bit. And then it suddenly closed and said, hey, you're going to need to boot in Secure Boot to be able to play this game. We looked at your BIOS settings. This isn't alright. We can't work with these BIOS settings. And understandably, alright, first of all, I should probably have Secure Boot on to begin with. And I spent a good 30 minutes just trying to get my fucking computer to boot to BIOS. And for whatever reason, I was unable to. Maybe it was just too late and I was too sleepy. I was missing something. Either way, couldn't get to boot to BIOS to change it. But also, I am not comfortable with the idea of an anti-cheat having enough access to my computer to be like, hey, you need to change your BIOS settings. Not a fan of that, personally. And so I looked into it a little more, and found out that, yeah, it does have quite a bit of access in terms of what it can see on your end. And again, most likely, more likely than anything, nothing is wrong at all. But as far as the vibe check, it's failed. Doesn't even do anything. Yeah, it just failed the vibe check. It's as simple as that. Y'all don't have... Exactly, right. I should have secure boot on. If I can figure out how to get my computer to boot to BIOS, I plan to turn it on. But it failed the vibe check. So, I'm going to have to figure out how to give back channel points. But while we're on the subject of channel points, you may notice I've made some changes. Are the changes live? The changes are live. So, as previously stated, Choose a Stream game has gone up in price. It also has a more detailed explanation of what exactly the limits of Choose Your Stream game are, mostly because we've added another channel point reward for 300,000. Alright? So, 100,000, I'll add a game of your choice to the stream queue, but with some caveats. Game should be about 10 hours, around 2 streams, and must be something we haven't played before. Alright? In the case that, you're unsure if we played a game, you can ask. Simple as that. And if you do cash in one that we've already played before, I'll just give the points back and then you can cash in on something else. Bag has executive right of veto. That one goes without saying. You can't just say like, oh, here's 100 channel points, play Honey Pop. I can't play Honey Pop. It's as simple as it's a very good match 3. I can't play it on stream. Right? Or, again, if it's like Valorant and it just fails the vibe check, And then, of course, the new one, Choose a Stream game, no veto. The bag no longer has the executive right of veto. I'll add a game of your choice to the stream queue, and so long as it's within reason, I'll have to play it. All of it. Choose wisely. Okay? And so, what I mean by this one is, once again, if it's going to violate TOS, obviously, I can't play it. If you're asking me to buy a game that costs fucking $70 or something, probably not, alright? But, within reason, I will have to play the entire thing. So, new channel point rewards. I am going to continue trying to add some. I've got some other ones rattling around upstairs. But we shall see. Clearly this means it's a Factorio stream. It is not a Factorio stream just yet. Unfortunately, that game is $35, and I've spent not a lot of money recently, but over $20 recently. And when I spend over $20, it's like I have a cooldown where I need to wait at least a week and a half before I'm comfortable spending money again. And there's really no time limit on me buying Factorio because it didn't go on sale during the Steam sales at all. So, gotta wait for the cooldown to end on that one. As for today, I've got a very special follow-up feature. Would you play Binding of Isaac? I would. If you want to turn me into the next Northern Lion, sure. I mean, I own the original Binding of Isaac. Important question, did you change the existing game redemption or create a new one? I changed the existing one. Why do you ask? Is Merrick in chat? I don't believe Merrick is here right now. You can shoot a message on Discord and see what he's up to. As a one who requested Factorio as a joke, I hope you just delay it with increasingly outrageous excuses. My plan is to see if, my plan is to see if I can just find someone who has it and we can Steam share. Maybe that'll work. Fingers crossed, please, perhaps. But we'll see. What about Don't Starve? I'm not a fan of Don't Starve. Again, I'd be willing to play it. I think Binding of Isaac would be an interesting stream, mostly because I don't necessarily like Binding of Isaac, but I might enjoy it more if I had, like, people yelling at me who know what to do, if that makes sense. So that's about where I sit with Binding of Isaac. Either way, we have got, for the start of today's stream, something of a coda for our Talos Principle 2 base game streams. Alright? And I say base game streams because I bought the DLC. I don't think I'm going to do it immediately, but we are definitely going to be streaming the DLC of the Talos Principle 2. So look forward to more of that in the future. Oh, they have little descriptions. Okay. Take your brain for a ride through the laser grid and explore the philosophy of love, death, and resurrection with Hypatia and Sarabai. The classic laser mechanics of the series are pushed to the limit in unexpected ways, testing your ability to think differently. Isle of the Blessed. Embark on a puzzle-driven adventure set on a stunning Caribbean island. Solve an array of fresh, medium difficulty puzzles, culminating in the hexahedron. Interesting. Very interesting. That sounds pretty enticing for this stream, especially. And lastly, Into the Abyss. Return to the most dramatic moments from the Talos Principle 2 while being challenged with extremely difficult puzzles. I don't necessarily remember any dramatic moments, but then again, I wasn't really too invested in the plot to begin with. Either way, at some point down the line, we will be playing the DLC. As for today, game progress sheet. Alright, I acted, what is it? Developer console. Just to see if I could do stuff, and then I couldn't figure out how the developer console works, so it was for nothing. Either way, take the next step forward, engage in diverse spectrum of puzzles, each offering a unique challenge and depth of complexity. Alright, anyway, I have something very special to show you all. Does that mean Miranda's saved? I don't know what that means. Howdy, Flora! So, we've got a little... You know how sometimes, whenever you play a game, and then you come back and play the game afterwards, with the context from everything that happened in the story, and it sort of reframes the narrative in a very interesting way, right? I'm sure we've all experienced a story like this. Maybe there was a plot twist, or some kind of unexpected development that really just changes things in a very substantial way and makes replays or rewatches or rereads all the more interesting, right? Well, I've discovered something of our own narrative reframing device. All right, and I'm gonna, take my little saunter here so that I can build up, obviously, the suspense and narrative tension. Although there probably doesn't exist any narrative tension at all for those of you who are in the Discord, because I have a bad habit of just sharing things because I get excited about them. So, most of you probably know what's going on already. Either way, we're going to the museum for just a quick little pit stop, shall we say. Now, something that's interesting about these museum puzzles is that they are exactly puzzles from the Talos Principle 1. Okay? So, I'm going to start running a bit just so that we can save a little bit of time, right? It's one puzzle from each of the 3 worlds, right? So whenever I replayed Talos Principle 1 after playing Talos Principle 2, or at least starting to play Talos Principle 2, when I encountered all 3 of these puzzles, I knew how to solve them immediately. Right? What's going on over here? I see. And, it's pretty interesting. A little quick refresher if you decide to explore New Jerusalem. But of course, something about this puzzle caught my eye. I want you to know... I want to ask, does anyone else notice what's different about this puzzle room compared to the others right now? Does anyone else see what's different? What's going on there? Not quite the triangle-shaped entrance, no. It does have to do with the entrance. No purple portal, exactly. This one doesn't have one. Or rather, it's over there. Okay? And then I walk in here and I realize, hey, first of all, hello Hex-chan. Second of all, I recognize this puzzle. I recognize it because in order to get one of the stars in the first game, you had to smuggle some objects out of this puzzle. 2 of them, to be precise. And then I get to thinking, well, hold on a minute. Surely, if it's the same puzzle, we should still have the same options available to us, no? Lo and behold, that we do. So, let me just... Boom. 62 total Hex-chans. Now, I've played around a little bit, and you cannot use this one to break the other 2 puzzles. Right? However, she does have a little magic spell of her own that I'll show off in just a second because I remembered there was something else I wanted to show off. Alright? So, for those of you who played the first Talos, or watched the first Talos Principle 2 stream, you may remember whenever I was going through my puzzle drought, I was just sort of tearing through this place looking for something to solve. And as I was looking for something to solve, I happened upon this terminal. An ancient virus, which threatens the entire human species, has been released from the melting Arctic permafrost. Society is collapsing. Select your character class. Politician, scientist, preacher, and witch. Can you take a guess which one we chose during the very first stream? I'm sure you can. But in the meantime, allow me to pull something up. You picked politician because you're a hater? Not quite. Not quite, no. Why is my own video showing up in my recommended tab? It was witch. Let me just open up our first... Let's get some pre-recorded content rolling here. Alright. Give me a second. There it is. Alright, hold on. Full screen it. No, stop. Display capture. No, not display capture. Window capture. There we are. You know what? I'm cutting off myself a little bit here. Where's my chat underlay? Oh, I don't have it on this one. Interesting. Either way.
What? Puzzles? This is almost puzzles? Jelly needs another game on a second.
Just overlap. Hold on. Overlap completely.
Society's collapsing. Select your character class. Obviously a witch.
Obviously.
Your local
A
covenant is
witch.
disbanded. Although you are not yet sick, most businesses are closed.
Obviously a witch. Alright? Obviously. However, this is a game that you can lose. I know because I tried to play it again and I lost. However, let me just skip ahead a little bit.
Soup for
Research, 33%.
eat locusts.
Eat bugs.
I see.
Can you save the world? Pursue a breakthrough? A breakthrough. You gotta stop mumbling, dude. You gotta stop mumbling. Read it normally. You're streaming. Be a professional. Enunciate.
Estimates suggest a 90% fatality rate among these species, anything or anyone who consumes them. Use character class special ability. If you believe that the locust remains safe.
As a witch, you're able to remake reality with the power of your mind alone. If you believe that the locusts remain safe to eat and that humanity will be saved from this virus, then that is what will happen, so far as you are concerned, regardless of the protestations of your eyes and ears. The text on the screen can say whatever it likes about the impossibility of saving everyone. Your reality is yours to weave as you see fit.
Humanity, regardless of the protestations of your eyes and ears. Text in the... Everyone, obviously...
Save everyone, no matter how unlikely. You view these possibilities through a haze of dispassion and make a simple decision to merge them and have both. And why shouldn't you? You're a witch. This is considered a win scenario by a majority of participants. Alright? First try. First try. Picked a witch and won. It was meant to be. All along, it was meant to be. This was our destiny. To the final shape. Wait, where'd I set her? Where'd I set her down? Right next to me, right, okay. It was meant to be. We were the chosen one all along. And of course, why wouldn't you see if there's something you can break if you break a hex gen out of confinement? Liberation is the pathway to many unique abilities, after all. And as it turns out, even in New Jerusalem, we can still get up to some old tricks. Just get on up here. Weave through just a little bit more. Alright, now you might notice, hey, there's an invisible wall here, stopping us from going any further. And to that I say, reality can be whatever I want it to be. we're free. Really and truly free. I'm surprised by how much they actually have solid and modeled back here. Although you may begin to notice that some of this geometry isn't real. Just a little bit. I don't know if it's going to be super noticeable. Right, but you might be able to notice a couple gaps. One K's barely a day old and already broke the laws of the world. However, and I don't want... You're going to stay right here, free forever, out of the bounds of reality. Because I don't want to harm you. This place is really interesting. Because at a certain point, something a little scary is going to happen. Unless we're stuck in this little half pipe. I think we're just stuck. Damn. No, here it is. It's all an illusion. There is, however, a death floor. So, there we go. Now, I also wanted to take a bit just to talk about, like, wrap up some thoughts. Don't talk to me. On the Talos Principle 2 as a whole, because, as you may remember, last stream ended a little abruptly. Because I had something that I needed to do pretty much immediately afterwards. On the whole, I wrote a Steam review for the game. And I don't think I could, in good faith, recommend this game over the Talos Principle 1, personally. Which isn't to say that it's bad, because there's definitely a lot of good here, but it misses the mark more often than not for me. Granted, there are going to be a lot of outlying circumstances there to why it misses the mark. I'm sure that had I not been streaming, I may have been a little bit more willing to engage with my surroundings and probably get a little more invested in the characters of the story and see what was going on with all that. But at the same time, I can't say that for sure, because I really did just want to get to puzzles at the beginning of the game. There are a couple things that maybe it's my fault, because I did ask Neith to give me the explanation in excruciatingly long detail when I did not want to hear an excruciatingly long explanation. So that one's on me. And also, as it turns out, there are quite a few people that you can talk to in New Jerusalem that I just completely did not meet whatsoever. Right? So there's the Gehenna museum over there that doesn't open until your second time back. And then over here, there's a little, like, secret society meeting that you can just walk into.
Speculating on the meaning of this Prometheus figure is premature until we can agree on its nature.
You already have a theory.
I know it's beyond any projection technology I'm aware of.
If it wasn't us, it must be Epsilon.
I think I'm cool enough that I can turn this off. It's unlikely.
Just because you haven't seen them doesn't mean they aren't there.
Let's not get ahead of ourselves. 1K, we'd appreciate your thoughts on this.
Mm-hmm.
Now we've achieved the goal, fresh perspectives like yours will be increasingly hard to come by.
I'd love to get a quote from you for this evening's newsletter.
Speculation aside, 1K is...
Yeah, we were supposed to have met Cryer before the first time that we met him there in the Somnodrome or whatever it was called, the Somnium. So, oops, right? Whatever it was, it came from inside the city.
That's possible, but you can't be
No, I
certain.
can be certain. I've seen the
What we do
future.
know is that it was human in appearance. What does that suggest to us?
What does that suggest to us? The origin must also be human. Yeah, the origin must also be human.
We can't know that for sure. It may, as Jacques suggested, be entirely alien and just
No, I know
present
it's
itself
human.
as human. I think wherever it came from, we can reasonably hope to understand it in time.
No, I just know. You're
Apparition
wrong.
also directed us to an island outside the city. What can we assume from that?
Sender of this message is obviously at the location. We may learn more. No, the sender of its message is obviously at that location.
Perhaps.
Not perhaps, I know.
I believe
Not perhaps.
whatever is at that location may provide the evidence we need. I'm also sure that we lack the knowledge ourselves to create a projection of such clarity and magnitude.
Why do you keep looking over at me every single time? Cause of the phenomenon is more technologically advanced than we are. It must have been someone within the city. It couldn't possibly be someone within the city. Cause of the phenomenon is more technologically advanced than we are.
Precisely. And that's something we can change.
What makes you think it was a projection at all? How do we know it wasn't just a mass hallucination?
So true? What if it was all a dream?
I considered some kind of bug in our code, but if so, it would have to be shared by all of us.
So, we're speculating again.
We've
Oh, that guy's
locked
name is
premises.
420. His
I'd
number
like
is
to hear one
420.
case
Hell yeah,
based
dude.
guess.
I guess one of our kind is behind all this. Most likely a citizen of New Jerusalem. Most likely someone outside New Jerusalem.
Can I quote you on that?
Yes, I'm sure I'll be proved right.
Cryer, if you must put all of this on record, then please note that I didn't share 1K certainty.
And you'll be a fool for it
Thank
because
you
I
all for
know.
hashing this out with me. Let's hope the mayor signs off on exploring this island. I only wish I could join the expedition.
Why can't you join the expedition?
If Melville's going, someone has to stay behind to keep the lights on. I'm not letting Pellegrino near the dam.
Okay, who's this? I feel like I'm also
Next
supposed to
time
know
we
who
speak, we'll
Pellegrino
have
is. That one's
more
on me.
data to go on.
Alright, so there's that you can have. And that's actually a pretty interesting conversation that helps set up stuff that happens later on with them, because I know they all pop up a little later once the Somnodrome is discovered, and you can talk to them more, but I just didn't talk to them. There's also, obviously, a bunch of people at the museum. There's this guy at the cat podium that I talked to who is the most angry anyone in the game ever got at me. Because I was like, yeah, death happens, you just kind of gotta accept it. There's this lady you can talk to, and she's very much all about the goal and the process. She loves all that. There's someone you can talk to here about Alexandra Drennan, which there's just an Alexandra Drennan memorial right here, where I think you can listen to all of her audio logs from the first game. Yeah. Each of these is an audio log from the first game. For some reason, this one isn't active. I wish I could remember which one this was, but I'm sure that maybe that's repaired later on. I'm not sure. There's also this guy named Purple who's super funny. He speaks like a total bro, and he asks you what he should do with his voice, and you can tell him to stop, and you get an achievement regardless of what you do. I'm being a little bit facetious, although you can do that. So there are plenty of people to talk to. And there's stuff to do here. The only problem is, as soon as I got here, I wanted to leave because I wanted to go play the video game. Right? It's not to say that this isn't interesting, but I want to do puzzles. I had my story. I met everyone. I met the primary cast. I want to go do my puzzles. You can also do this. Something I've noticed, by the way, is whenever I pet this cat, if I look away too fast, you can see my head. Do you see it? It's weird. You're like outside of your body for a little bit in that pre-rendered cuts little interaction, right? Either way, there is a lot of stuff here to do in New Jerusalem, and it is relatively interesting. You know, when I was going back to check it out on my second playthrough, I did it all. Or whenever I was checking this out, I did it all, right? And so, you know, it's pretty neat. I like that it's here. My only problem is that it comes at 2 points in the game. The second one, maybe not, but the first one, this one for sure, where I have already reached my exposition limit to the amount of gameplay that I would like to engage in. Right? And so I'm not super eager to explore all of New Jerusalem, and therefore I'm missing out on a lot of establishing information that actually gets me invested in the story and the world and the characters that I'm going to be interacting with, which means that when they pop up later and I don't know who they are and I don't care about what they're talking about, it's more difficult for me to get invested in them. A lot of this game's narrative is hinging on you putting in the work to explore New Jerusalem at the very beginning. And while that's not necessarily a bad thing, it's also optional.
Hi.
Which is to say that someone like me, or even someone with less patience than me, could just go right on the vertibird and leave and not meet anyone here at all. And then the next time you come to New Jerusalem, it's completely different. Everyone is here in a different state, there's more stuff to explore, and everyone's talking about different things, because more has happened in the story. Right? So, this first New Jerusalem visit is just kind of in an awkward spot, where after playing through the game, and now with more patience to just see what's going on, I can look through it and appreciate it. On my first playthrough, this was not at all the time to try and drop me into this big place and force me to sit down and talk to people. And so, as a result, I just couldn't get invested in the narrative that the game was trying to spin. That's rough. It's very rough. The fact that your entire dilemma was it was either dialogue or playing the game already shows how big of a problem this game design flaw created. Optimally, you shouldn't have to worry about that sort of thing, right? I'm not a gamer, but that doesn't sound normal. Yeah. There's a certain flow that needs to be achieved in how you, or how the game, rather, spends your downtime. Right? Or allows you to spend your downtime. Right? And I think in Talos Principle 2, the downtime to gameplay equation is very much skewed out of favor. You will do a couple minutes of puzzling, and then if you were to talk to everyone and read all the audio logs and take time to, walk to the next puzzle room, probably an equal or greater amount of time spent navigating the world and talking to everyone. Whereas in Talos Principle 2, it may be the case that you actually did spend just as much time talking to people and reading terminal entries. But the way that it was spaced out and the pacing of the game made it much more engaging, much more bearable for me. Not bearable, because I enjoyed it. So it was just structured way better for my sensibilities. Right? The way the Talos Principle 1 worked was... Can I just show you how Talos Principle 1 worked? I'll just show you how Talos Principle 1 worked. Hold on. Before I do that, I'm going to bring her with me, and then we'll call that. No, because I want to keep my save state here, So I can explore New Jerusalem. Alright. I'm going to show you how Talos Principle 1 worked. Give me a second here. Let me launch it. Basically, it's strictly one or the other instead of blending the two in some entertaining way. Not necessarily. It's just the volume of how the content is delivered that's out of proportion. Game capture, Talos. Okay, there we go. Good. Right, we got it up on screen. So, alright, I installed workshop mods. Okay, so here's Talos Principle. Gonna make a new game, and I'm just gonna... The game drops you in pretty similar to Talos Principle 2. You got this initializing thing, and then straight into some puzzles. But I'll show you a couple of things. I'll show you how star puzzles work in this game, which is especially different, and especially something that I enjoy. So if you plan on playing this, you're going to get a spoiler for, at the very least, the first star puzzle in the game. To just give you an idea of what we're sort of operating with here. Alright, and...
Behold, child.
Also, you look a little
risen
different.
from the dust, and you walk in my garden.
Elohim is going to be here talking to us a lot.
Voice, and know that I am your maker, and
What's
I
that?
am called Elohim. Seek me in my temple, if you are worthy.
I'm just going to stay first person because that's how I played most of Talos 1, so... I don't think I'm going to be able to get this out of here. There's probably a way. Gameplay already... It's like this in Talos Principle 2 as well. You get right into it. First of all, two old puzzle elements that weren't in the second game. They teased this a little bit with the Miranda section, but did not actually do anything with it. These mines, if you get too close to them, they'll run into you and kill you and then reset you a little bit. And then the turrets, I'm sure you can assume what the turret is going to do, right? So the normal way that you solve this puzzle is you just put that there, and then you keep on moving. But you might notice there's room for improvement. If I put that jammer there, and then move this jammer here, then I can jam this one, grab this guy, move all the way back here, jam it from a distance, because jammer distance is just infinite, essentially, as long as you have sightlines.
All across this land,
Right?
I have
And now,
created
instead of both of those
signs
jammers being stuck back there, I'm able to take them both with me.
I have hidden a sigil. It is your purpose to seek these sigils, for thus you will serve the generations to come and attain eternal life.
Right? And you might be saying to yourself, kind of seems like something broke there. But actually, if I want to get the star that's back here, I need a jammer. And that's the only way for you to be able to get one. And so the way that star puzzles work is that in each of these levels, there's a star hidden somewhere. Sometimes it's visible. Sometimes you have to really scout out where it is. This first one is particularly hard because obviously I knew exactly where to go, but if you walk by this, you're not going to look at that corner and think, oh, let me just scooch on by, pull this lever. Right? So the very first one is teaching you, hey, if you want to find these things, you want to figure them out, you're going to have to bend the rules a little bit. Right? And then, of course, because we have this, we can wreak a little havoc. So now, we don't need to worry about it. Just put them in there. Done. There's a sigil. I'm essentially just going to be playing entirely through this first little level here.
You are collecting are not mere toys. They are the
Can I get anything
sigils of
from
our
here? I can
name.
jam that guy. Alright.
Each brings you closer to eternity.
And then I think what I'm supposed to do is use that jammer to move him out and then trap him outside. But because I just did it from the outside, just jam the turret, good to go.
Well done, child. Only one more sigil is needed.
Can't jam anything from here. Again, these first puzzles are just jammers, which I quite like because it's showing right from the get-go that you can do a lot with very little, and you have to think. Although these puzzles are very easy, at least in comparison to what the game eventually gets to. Right? And then once we've got all our puzzles solved, we get our sigils.
Go forth.
I think we only need to solve 3 of them. I'm not sure if we need to solve all of them. Yeah, we don't need to solve all of them. Okay, so there's going to be some puzzles left over that we would need to come back and solve because these yellow ones are used for something else that I'll show you. Right? And also, throughout every level on the wall, there's QR codes of unknown purpose or origin. You're just sort of dropped in here with no explanation. And so you find these, and maybe they'll give you an explanation. And then, here's what the terminals look like. Loading MLA. So, type help. The framing of this I find a little bit more interesting. Let's see. List. So, every terminal is going to have 3 documents on it. I think it can have less. I don't think that it can have more. And they're usually just going to be this long. Nothing too big. This one is an email to Alexander Drennan. Athena6.text. Chapter 6 of something with hexadecimal to translate. If I planned ahead for this, I'd probably have that translated. But I remember liking translating that a lot while I was playing. And then another email with more hexadecimal there. And then that's it. Let's try to run MLA. Do you understand what I'm saying? Describe your functions. Is this the game's lore? Yes. MLA is designed primarily to sort classified data in the library archive. Secondarily, it facilitates user interaction with with library resources via an intuitive human language interface. It also provides powerful networking and troubleshooting functions. And so immediately, you have a lot of questions that you can ask, which I quite like. How long has this system been running? 999 years. What is the current status of the library archive? 47 million resources in archive, taking up 5.42, however, petabytes of disk space. 30 billion photos, 7 million minutes in HD video. The entire internet in 2003. The majority of library resources are corrupted and invalid. 10 gigabytes of uncorrupted resources are indexed. So queries on the outside world. Limited to the library. Who is Elohim? Elohim is the noun for God or gods in modern and ancient Hebrew. What am I? You are logged in with a guest account. Where am I? You're currently in a support session with the MLA human language interface. So exit. And there's a lot of stuff that you can do with these terminals. This is essentially where you're going to be having your conversations and doing your lore. All in one spot. Again, more puzzles to solve there.
Step into the light, child.
And
My temple will be revealed to you.
every room shows you what sigils are available and what star puzzles are available.
You walk now.
This is the hub
stones
world.
of my temple. whence many gates lead. And know that I have other temples, for my garden is greater than your eye can encompass. And
Alright.
all these worlds I made for you.
So this is our hub world. There's a connector. There's Hexched. We need to get more sigils to be able to unlock that. Right? And then, hub world has 8 levels. Whatever that is.
There are mysteries in my garden, hidden roads and secret gates. If you dedicate yourself to understanding them, you may join the host of messengers.
So a star puzzle I got, 1 sigil of 10 that I need to open this door. Right? And you can see, each level will have displayed how many stars that it has in that one level. Now, let's just navigate to level 2.
Let this be our covenant.
Right here.
These worlds are yours, and you are free to walk amongst them and subdue them. But the great tower...
So I can just go from one puzzle to the other very quickly.
For in the day that you do, you shall surely die.
So don't climb the tower, whatever that means. I'm sure it's a religious allegory of some kind. By which I mean I know it's a religious allegory. Now, what's going on here? Interesting. And also, whenever you load in to the level, immediately this is beeping. So more stuff going on. List. Access comm portal. And then this is going to be a whole thing getting your account set up. Which will give you access to more stuff. By the way, there's always at the start of the level something to do with the terminals. An audio log here that you can grab. And then I don't have the patience for this little explanation, but after you finish every level as well, the terminal will activate again, and you'll have more to talk about. As far as terminals hidden inside of the level, you can find them just like this. They'll be emitting that same sort of beeping noise. Now you'll notice this QR code doesn't display anything. So I need to actually scan this one with my phone. To which we get something that says, "There are secrets everywhere, sometimes within our very words. I glimpse them, but my eyes cannot read them. How can this be?" Uriel 4. So that's another one, apparently from someone called Uriel. Right? So there's a lot of little things going on, but I think more than anything, Talos Principle 1 does a very good job of establishing some kind of mystery and intrigue. In almost every single level, there's one little thing that's going to get you thinking like, huh, what's going on with that? The door is locked, so that must mean that there's some way for me to open it. Right? And so I know that there's a star on this level, so that means that that's probably where the star is. And just as a little heads up, if you decide to play it yourself, that is where the star is. And I'll leave it to you to figure out how to get in. But there's a lot of very good stuff about how the Talos Principle 1 establishes and delivers its narrative that I really like. It's very much player-driven. It presents it to you in a very structured way, but it's on you the entire time, essentially, to engage with it. But the way that it's delivered is in such a way that engaging with it doesn't feel like, all right, let me just sit for an hour and read a book. It's little bits at a time, and the puzzles are also very close together, very quick, very responsive, which is something that I really miss in the Talos Principle 2. I like how visually interesting all of those very large, expansive areas are. However, when I have to actually navigate that distance just to get from puzzle 5 to puzzle 6, it starts to become a little tedious. Right? I start to get a little tired of having to run from point A to point B every single time I want to try something out. And it goes without saying, although I have said it many times before, and I touched on it quite a lot in my review, the star puzzles in Talos Principle 2 do not work. They are a massive downgrade from the first game, in my opinion. There's also the issue of these big areas not really having anything hidden. That's another one. There are these very large areas, and sure, seeing them inspires some very temporary, fleeting sense of awe after you've seen more than one of them, right? But they don't necessarily do anything interesting with the architecture. There aren't really any puzzles that rely on the unique way that the areas are set up, except for Pandora's Box puzzles, which are maybe the closest that the game ever comes to actually having star puzzles like the first game, right? But that's one of the biggest issues, I think, is the star puzzles in the Talos Principle 2 are not good. And to me, the star puzzles were what made Talos Principle 1 so interesting. They're what made it so unique and engaging to me, because there was always some secret for me to try and find. And it was on me to explore that little area that I'm given to the fullest and find the tiniest little what's going on here and explore that, right? When your environment only becomes inspiration to create some guy's hexahedron witches, you've got a problem. Okay, well, that's brain rot of a different flavor. That one's on me, personally. But I understand where you're coming from. Yeah, you're not really doing a lot with your environments. They look pretty. I like them. But they're not interesting to navigate, and they're not providing anything to the experience aside from visual splendor. Right? So they eventually just become a little burdensome, right? And again, even the Pandora puzzles don't stay as interesting as some of the star puzzles in Talos Principle 2, or Talos Principle 1. Like I said, the box that I broke out of that museum puzzle, you need to get one of the stars in the level that's from to break out the cube and the connector, because you need both of them in order to get part of what you need for that star puzzle. That's one part of a star, is smuggling 2 items out of a puzzle. And I just can't help but think that when you're stacking that up against the Talos Principle 2, which sometimes asks you to set a laser, to connect a laser from inside a puzzle area to outside of a puzzle area, and that's essentially the extent of it, it doesn't hold up. So that left me very wanting. But again, I feel like the way that star puzzles are structured in Talos Principle 2 is, to me, the core issue which sort of crumbles everything at the base. Because if I don't have an interesting reason to explore these worlds, then being forced to traverse them when they're so large starts to become tedious. And when the act of basic navigation itself, which is the most abundant thing in pretty much any video game, becomes tedious, the entire experience slowly gets dragged down the more that you have to walk. So there's a lot of stuff like that. Now, granted, again, all of my criticism is going to be tempered with the fact that I'm streaming this game, and I was essentially doing a challenge run that necessitated a lot more walking around. If I was just going from puzzle to puzzle, it'd be a lot faster. Wouldn't need to spend so much time in the environments at all, right? So that's partially going to be on me. So I have to keep recognizing that, right? That said, again, I did want to try and be a little more positive, which is to say that, again, even if I would wholeheartedly recommend the Talos Principle 1 over the Talos Principle 2, the puzzles are still good. I think the Talos Principle 2 is a very accessible game, and I mean that as a compliment. Right? If you are someone who generally struggles with the kind of puzzle game that Talos Principle 2 is, which is sort of this tools, spatial reasoning kind of thing, the Talos Principle 2 does a very good job of establishing an accessible difficulty curve to every single level that lets you feel that satisfaction of coming to understand a mechanic and utilize it to a relatively full degree. Right? It has a sawtooth difficulty curve, where every level will introduce a new mechanic, and so the difficulty will dip back down as it gives you a little tutorial, slowly ramps up 1 to 8 in the 2 bonus. Back to tutorial, slowly ramps up 1 to 8. Back to puzzle, or back to tutorial. So that makes it a very accessible game. You don't have to be a puzzle fiend like me to be able to play it and to be able to understand it and to be able to enjoy it. In the same vein, the philosophy is also relatively entry level, I would say. Now, that's going to be tempered by the fact that I think that's more of a double-edged sword that you're liable to die on from both ends rather than hold in the center. But, the way I see it, if someone doesn't care about the philosophy and the game is philosophizing to them, they might just get annoyed that it's talking at them and saying all this high-minded stuff. And it keeps going on and on about it. And if you're someone like me, who has a little bit more background and a little knowledge about philosophy, has more of a defined personal philosophy, every time the game talks about philosophy, you're going to start to get annoyed because it seems like it's very entry-level, and everyone is talking like it's the biggest revelation they've ever had in their entire life. Right? So there's somewhere in the middle, there's someone who's kind of interested in philosophy and hasn't really gotten their start that this would probably be perfect for. Someone who hasn't really considered a lot of these ideas yet that would be really, really engaged by them. Somewhere in there. Me personally, it felt like I was being spoon-fed Gerber's philosophy paste every once in a while, and I did not like the characters, and the primary conflict seemed entirely meaningless to me. Reddit the game in a lot of ways. Yeah, it would be Reddit if Reddit was completely, like, you just removed all of the antagonism whatsoever. Which is another complaint that I have with Talos Principle 2 that I can't really showcase in Talos Principle 1 without getting more into it. Talos Principle 1 has some bite to it. It has things that will be mean, combative, will disagree with you, or just generally will be things that you actively disagree with. And you need to push against. The game will push back a little. But everyone in Talos Principle 2 is just super reasonable. Like I said, the maddest I can remember someone getting at me in Talos Principle 2 was when I said, cats don't live forever. That's part of life. And he got really mad and said, why does it have to be? We can fix it. We gotta fix it. What's wrong with you? And then immediately afterwards, he's like, no, I'm sorry. I let my anger get the better of me. I apologize. Right? Elohim is not just good, and you do have a lot of conflict. Yeah, Elohim himself, who is the first person you talk to, there's a lot of conflict just in knowing what he is saying and questioning what is going on the entire time. I think that Talos Principle 1 is a game which allows you to explore in the narrative and through the gameplay skepticism as a philosophy. Because it is constantly asking you to question everything about your surroundings and trust nothing unless it is testable and you can know for sure. And even then, to question that. Right? It does it a lot through the narrative, through stuff with Elohim and with a lot of the log entries that you're reading and a lot of the QR codes that you read on the walls. But it does it through the gameplay, through, obviously, the way that puzzle games are structured, but specifically the way that the star puzzles are structured. Every single one of the star puzzles is structured in some kind of way that forces you to question the limits that have been proposed. Right? You look at that purple puzzle door, and the game is telling you items cannot pass through this. And for a while, you might believe that that means every single item in a puzzle area is contained to just that puzzle area. But eventually, whether you're trying to or not, whether the game guides you to it or you're trying to break it, you will come to realize that that's not true. That not only can you break items out of the puzzle area, if you want to get the star puzzles, you need to. Right? And so from that point forward, every single puzzle becomes not just this case of how do I solve this puzzle, it's also this case of where are the breakpoints in this puzzle where I can snag things and bring them out. And when I do that, why am I allowed to do that, and what am I going to use it for? Every single thing that you do in Talos Principle 2 is always providing you with another question and another concrete, testable goal that you can do immediately. Why do I have this tool? Why is the game letting me have this tool in this circumstance? Why is the game letting this happen, and what can I do with it? Whereas the Talos Principle 2, it's fundamentally about a different philosophical question than questioning your surroundings. And I don't find that as interesting than the questions that Talos Principle 1 was asking. Because the questions about Talos Principle 1 that Talos Principle 1 is asking, I don't have answers to that I'm generally satisfied with. But the questions that Talos Principle 2 is asking, I kind of have that stuff figured out. At least as far as I'm willing to look into things or able to look into things. And especially within the context of the narrative. It's a solved issue, right? Like, the biggest downside to the isolationist perspective in Talos Principle 2 is that it's dangerous, and the proof that it's dangerous is that Miranda dies. But then, your reward for solving all of the optional puzzles that the game heavily is nudging you to do is that Miranda comes back to life, therefore negating the largest detracting evidence from the expansionist perspective. Right? And already the isolationist perspective is largely justified by the idea that people need a myth to maintain social order. Except you are told at every point that the myth is kind of bullshit, and the people that the myth is founded on do not like the myth, and it actively caused problems, and it's causing this society to erode. The first thing you see when you step outside of your creation bed in the Talos Principle 2, before you even open the doors to walk out, is the ceiling sparking. You can see from the very beginning that New Jerusalem is in a state of disrepair. It's falling apart. Resources are scarce. It shows that off pretty well. New Jerusalem is not finished. If you look up at the dome, how long have they been there? And it's still, the dome isn't complete, right? They do a lot to show you that New Jerusalem is stagnating and that it's falling apart. Which is to say that the isolationist perspective is already failing, because that's what they're subscribing to, and it's causing things to break down. The game gives you from the very beginning a lot of mounting evidence that what's going on right now isn't working and that something has to change. And then the way that it tries to pull away from that is to say, oh, but change is dangerous. See, Miranda dies. But then you bring Miranda back to life. And so there's not a lot of danger. The benefits greatly outweigh the cost. And another thing, I was talking to Merrick about this. The developers of the Talos Principle 2, at least if I am interpreting their philosophy correctly, are outstandingly optimistic people who believe very strongly in the goodness of human nature and the benefit of life existing for the sake of life. Like, existence itself is a good from their philosophy, right? It does not need to justify itself. Existence itself is something to strive for, right? And so knowing that, or at least believing and understanding that, means that I cannot possibly imagine that they would incentivize the isolationist perspective in this narrative. Because that is a very pessimistic kind of worldview that relies on sheltering yourself and remaining scared of the potential of what humans can do and just making sure that you are not causing harm. Whereas I feel like they're definitely leaning more towards the expansionist perspective with how they set up a lot of things. And I believe, personally, I think that the fact that Miranda is your reward for solving all of the puzzles, and Miranda is this big thing that gets rid of a large point detracting from the expansionist perspective, signals to me that that is absolutely the route that they want you to go, is to take this machine and use this nanotechnology to its fullest potential. The game is doing a lot to nudge you in that direction, and it's not doing enough to make it seem like a very well-rounded discourse between those two ideas. I think they really could have done more with the isolationist perspective. Whenever people imagine cozy rooms, it's a return to a more simple, small communities. The whole return to monkey the internet is atomizing society thing. Should have been something there for a good writer. Yeah, that's more traditionalist than isolationist, but I understand what you mean. Yeah, there's not really... I feel like for the people of Talos Principle, like for the people of New Jerusalem, a return to form would be something like they had seen in Gehenna, where it was a lot of creation without even needing to move around and to expand. And there was also a lot of the stuff with solving puzzles, generally, would be a return to form for them, right? Sounds so weird out loud to say Miranda is your reward for finishing the puzzles. Like, it's true, but it doesn't feel... Yeah, no, it doesn't feel right. It's just the fact of the matter. Your reward for solving all the golden puzzles is Miranda comes back to life. You get Miranda, right? And nullify one of the largest points detracting from the expansionist perspective. I feel like at this point, I'm throwing around a lot of very large words and high-minded ideas, mostly in an attempt to make it feel like I'm not dismissing the narrative outright. That's something that I'm a little insecure about, I won't lie, is the idea that I just didn't get it, and that's why I dislike it. So I'm essentially presenting a case for myself that is, I did understand it, I didn't think it was good. That's where I'm about with the narrative. It's I don't think that the devs are pessimistic enough to properly explore a strong basis for the isolationist perspective. And as a result, it makes it feel like the expansionist perspective is arguing against a flimsy straw man, which just makes both arguments seem weaker. And when the entire crux of the narrative is hinging on the interplay between these two ideas and the argument for and against them, having that seem weak because one side is presented poorly kind of ruins everything at the base. It's just kind of boring when the opposing view can't challenge you. There's that too. And a lot of it, granted, again, these are ideas that I already have, I would say, relatively firm opinions on, that are only made more firm in the context of the game because it's different circumstances that are more concrete, right? But yeah, it doesn't do a lot to challenge your view, because no one in the Talos Principle 2 really challenges your view. Right? Like, the Sphinx gives you an idea, it gives you a riddle, and then if you pick it, it's like, well, I don't know about that. But I don't think you interact with the Sphinx, Pandora, and Prometheus consistently enough to form a rapport, to understand their perspective, and to really feel anything when they fight back against you. I feel like it's way too few and far between with those interactions. Whereas something like in Talos Principle 1, you eventually run into a character called, I'll call them the Serpent. Alright? And the Serpent's entire role is just essentially to fuck with you. They are just a constant entity that you interact with, and their entire role is just to be that Sphinx, to be that Pandora, to be that Prometheus, to occupy all of those roles, and to make you, once again, question your surroundings, question your inherent beliefs in the world around you. And I just think it does it so much more effectively in Talos Principle 1 than it does in Talos Principle 2. I think a lot of what went wrong in the Talos Principle 2 was them attempting to do things from the first game, but not necessarily fully committing or understanding that something needed to change for it to work properly. But, again, I've never made a video game. I'm not a writer. It could just be the case that this didn't jive with me, and that's as simple as that. Would have been nice if part of the puzzles were having to deal with a lack of resources, like a broken puzzle piece in a crucial moment you have to repair using something else on your person or a friend. I don't know, something to make you really feel in gameplay that you're getting to a point of no return. That would be really cool. Again, they don't do, I don't think, anything to really explore the narrative that they're attempting to explore through the gameplay. Whereas Talos Principle 2, with this focus on skepticism, as a puzzle game, naturally forces you to explore and embody the ideas that it's trying to get you to think about. Talos Principle 2 doesn't have a way to keep you constantly engaged, whether you know it or not, with this argument between expansionism and isolationism. So it just sort of feels like the two are completely separate. Whereas in Talos Principle 2, they're part of the same whole. It is ludo-narrative consonance, if you'll allow me to use my big boy words. Did the Valorant thing die? I have way more coins now. Okay, so I didn't... Can you refund Valorant? Or have you already refunded? How does that work? Because you weren't here, but essentially it didn't pass the vibe. You already did, Boulder? Okay. Did you get back 50,000 or 100,000? 50? Okay. Okay, good. You can read, so I trust you understand how the new ones work. But yeah, it didn't pass the vibe check because I don't like the amount of access that Vanguard anti-cheat has to my computer. And that's just pure superstition on my part. But I will be completely plain with you. I have downloaded too many computer viruses to trust a program that I do not fully understand. If that makes sense. I'm not technologically literate enough to feel comfortable having that on my computer, even though if I was more tech literate, I would understand that it is completely safe. So I will remain superstitious and cautious. Anyway, those are kind of my extended thoughts on the Talos Principle 2. That's about where I'm at with the game. I'm hoping, kind of expecting, really, that the DLC will explore different ideas in better ways. But I think that there's a lot with the base game that just really misses the mark by trying to follow the same format of the Talos Principle 1 without fully understanding what it was about those things in that specific context that made it so engaging and successful. So that's about where I'm at. Now you may be wondering, if we're not going to play Valorant today, what are we going to play? And to that, I say, we've got a little work to do for future endeavors. Let me just open this real quick. Hold on. I know it's N. Where are you? Where are you, file? L M N. There you are. Let me go to. I think I'm gonna have to do. Where is it? Game capture. Can you capture that? We'll turn that off. I'll be back in just a moment. By which I mean I'm still here, but I just need to move on over. Oh no, okay, it didn't matter anyway. Oh well. All right, hold on. It's fine. It's fine. Game capture. Okay, so it has to be window capture then. Window capture. That's not what that is. Why is that just what? That isn't right at all. Are you working now? What is happening? That's just the complete wrong window to capture, OBS. What are you doing? Do I need to do display cap? Okay, let's just try display capture. That's better. Okay, that makes things a lot easier. That's the wrong window to resize, buddy. All right. We're making a model. We're doing art today. That's what we're doing. We're doing art. Hi. It's an art stream. I tricked you all. It's an art stream today. We're doing art. Let me get the music playing, and then I will be back because I am going to take a little break. But I'll get the music. The air conditioner is on. The music is playing. They are safe and comfortable. Oh, let me turn this off because I don't like you seeing all that. Stream music, and we'll start with one of the new songs. I'm gonna start with Just Like You because, to be completely honest with you, I was looking for songs to add to the stream playlist, and just Like You came up, and it almost made me cry. No, not almost. I definitely teared up a little bit, more than a little bit. I almost cried. Anyway, I'll be back. So have fun, chat, be nice to each other. I'm gonna get water and all that jazz. See you in a few. Alright, I'm here. I'm back. Oh, I see. Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. I'm back. Hi. I'm gonna turn that down just a little bit. I'm back.
Hi, Ruby. Hi.
Okay, I might need to step away again because I think Ruby wants out. No? Okay, never mind. She's just sitting there. Alright. So, we're going to draw. Which means, obviously I have a model idea in mind, right? Obviously I wouldn't come here with nothing planned. Because this was a last-minute decision. Can I get window capture to work, please? Please, window capture? Please? Window capture, please, work? It's still a little loud. That's better. Please, window capture, please. I know that you can capture Krita. You can capture Steam special offers? Partially. Okay, maybe game capture will work. Maybe game capture is the way to go? Interesting. I don't know why that's doing that, so I guess we will just continue with display capture, even though I would prefer to do something else, but oh well. Anyway, aspiring 3D animator modeler, would you like me to 3D model your OC for free? Of course. I wouldn't expect you to do something like that for free. I mean, if you want to, feel free, but I'm not gonna like request that of you. That's a bit presumptuous of me to expect you to work for free. Where was I? So, what was I gonna do? Do that. Alright, so we have the robot model. That's our newest one. Gonna disable that for a second. Just show me where I can contact you and send me your OC sheet. I'll try to work on it whenever I can. I mean, I guess if you want, I don't have an OC sheet, but this is the guy. There they are. And then I haven't sent the Discord link in a bit, so I guess I could send that. Give me a second. There we go. Wrong one. Display. Maybe window capture will work? No? Okay, display capture it is. And there is the Discord link for those who want it. Although I imagine at this point most people are in here are already in the Discord. Now where was I? Right, so we need a new model. And that new model is going to be for Hive Swap. I'm going to move this over there so I can tinker around with it. So here's what I got to do. Alright, I have to get an idea of the proportions that I'll be working with for this model. And just sort of how this should all be going in terms of how I want to color this. Alright, so here's what's gonna happen. Alright, no. You're gonna go there. And we're gonna paste you here, John. Yes, that's fine. I guess there works too. Alright, so here's sort of the proportions that we're going to be working with. Alright, now as far as the brushes that we're going to be using as well, we're definitely going to we're gonna opt for our pixel brush here. There. Now, this is definitely working with... I don't want it to be so many that you can't tell it's the pixels. Alright, that's close enough. We'll say we're working with about a thickness of 5 to 3, but we'll figure it out as we go. Okay, so let's just take stock of the variables we're working with here. Alright, so no arms, as you may be able to tell. Alright, so we've got that's again wrong there. No arms. None. Alright, head connects directly to the body, so no neck. Alright. It's gonna be colored line art. That's can't be how you spell that. So it's a little... Hold on. I can do better than that. It's a little pog. Alright, so just gotta take stock of what we're working with here. So for my own model, I think the ideal, obviously, is going to be to try and see what we can do as far as adapting my little guy to this style. Alright, so let's just, you know, preliminary sketches here. Obviously, we want to go really saturated color. That's another thing. Really saturated colors. Thank you. Good get there. Now the eyes, relatively minimal detail on the eyes. So I think for our own eyes, I'm probably gonna have to go for one of these. Right? And normally, not having the neck, we usually need to display the no neck, but they don't have necks anyway, so it's fine. So we're just gonna... Here's what we'll do. There's the zipper part. Don't worry about it. It's gonna look weird. We'll figure it out. Alright, and then body is whatever. And then what does it normally look like? I think it goes like that, something like that. And then legs are always hard for me because I simply do not know how to draw legs and refuse to practice. So we'll just... I mean, they're essentially just going... like like that there. Something along those lines. Alright. Now, is there anything else that we need to consider as far as our design sensibilities? Because, I mean, obviously, you just take one look at this. It's flawless. We all know that. But can we improve on perfection? And to that I say, let's take a look at our reference. And normally, you know, I could just scroll out, not you. What are we missing from this that we can add as flavor? Okay, so first, these boots are going to go over the pants. So we can definitely... I would need to look up... Boulder, I need your help. What Homestuck characters wear boots? You would know this off the top of your head. Maybe try and make the head 3D. Under normal circumstances, I draw it 2D, and it may work, but this is a distinctly, well, not distinctly. Not distinctly non-3D, but it doesn't really stick to those, it sticks a bit more to the second dimension. Definitely going off to the side there. Okay. We've got a good blueprint here. I just need to know how to make it more stylistically consistent with what we're working with. Is there anyone that wears boots, or do they all have the same-ish pants? Let's see. Yeah, they're all looking the same-ish. So, can't really work with that. Zipper bigger, definitely. You're right. You're right on that one. Big ol' zipper. Body's a bit too long right now. So we just scrunch him. I think the head needs to be bigger. Uh-oh. Body needs to be wider. We're getting there. We're getting there. It's going to look scuffed. No matter what we do, it's going to look scuffed because we don't have a round head. But that's fine. Not every head needs to be round. Alright? We don't all have to be perfect. So here's what we do, just to get a better idea of things. Alright? We're following the general proportions relatively well, for the looks of things. Okay. So now we do a little cleanup. Now we just try to be a little bit more consistent. No, that's a downward slope. head is not centered on the body. You're right about that one. Good catch. Okay. We want this to flare out just a little bit, just to show that there's the collar of the jacket. Should be passing down a little more on that. Here's what we're gonna do. We just gotta be real subtle with the details, because there's little things that we can add here. The slight ribbing of the jacket, for example. So then... These are very round. Something like that, and then this needs to come out a little bit. We're getting there. We're getting there. Have faith in the process. I mean, not bad, all things considered. We're getting there. We're getting there. This collar needs to be higher. That's for sure. This can be like that. Yeah, the lines can be thicker on the spiral eyes for sure. Hold on, I like... Yeah, I can definitely use a thicker brush when I do the real thing. And then let's just get an idea of what our colors are going to be. So, we're working on a lot of monochrome, which does make things easier because most of this is going to be... Again, I should probably just drag the reference up there. Most of that's going to be black. Unfortunately, a lot of the stuff that we use to differentiate between, to add more black to contrast the white and yellow, is on the arms. But it's fine. We can work with it. We'll find little spots, and then we'll just take this as our saturated yellow. That's ours now. That goes there. This is going to be gray, and the rest is white. Oh, well, no, I wish I didn't do that. Hold on. We'll just use you. Now, the good news is most Homestuck characters are actually themselves monochromatic. This is just... I grabbed this example just specifically because he has the colored line art, to have a better idea of how to structure that. Okay, there's also... we can add our little pockets here. Well, they usually don't have a lot of detail in the pants. But we're getting there. Thanks for stopping by, Vardox. Appreciate it. Alright, I mean... we've got it. He's got to be a little bigger, I think. But... you know, he's got some big shoes to fill. But we got it. We for sure got it. Definitely too much detail on the pants. Yes. Did I have it right? No. Okay, good. So just don't worry about those. Don't worry about those. Alright, so now we're going to try this again, but with our pixel brush. Now, see, if I was trying to be authentic, I would definitely be doing this in MS Paint, but we're not entirely authentic here. Probably fine. Filling that little gap there. We're getting there. We're getting there. That's a good... I'm just going to duplicate that one. That's good. No, because they're not duplicated. Good enough for me. Good enough for government work. That's the head. you'll notice the shoes actually have thinner line art than the rest of the body, which is interesting. Wonder why. Goes up, then suddenly rounds down. It intersects with the start top of that one, which is really the same. Not quite teardrop shaped. Still not quite it. Think, yeah, that feels right. That feels right. Okay. And then back to our 5. This is the round down. Shoes aren't looking quite right, but I'll... Well, no, they are looking quite right, but no, they don't flare out enough. Because they go in, then up. See, let me turn it off. Yeah. Come a little closer, John. Don't. We're all friends here. Come a little closer. Okay, so. Alright. Get rid of that little pixel overlap. Then goes down just the littlest bit. So then let's go about... So it goes down. I need a thinner brush. Goes down, and then curves a little about midway through the shoe, so about there. Okay. Use a thin brush for that one. Nope, that's okay. I was trying to set you to 2. Okay. And then have that come out just a little more. Goes like that. Close but no cigar. What's missing? I think that's a little better. No, it's starting too thick. It goes like that and then really thins out. It doesn't curve downward, it stays outward. Kind of like that, and then that's not bad. I can live with that. I can live with that. Alright, and then similar thing over here, except we get one of those. So I've been thinking, right? Like, I have got to become more marketable, right? And to become marketable, you have to be able to diversify the kinds of products that you're offering to people, right? And so I've been thinking, you know, what sorts of things can I do to broaden my appeal, to broaden the range of content that I can apply myself to? And I think the easy solution that I've landed on, what just happened? The easy solution that I've landed on after watching YouTube shorts is that whenever I explain something, what I need to do after I've finished explaining is to finish my explanation by saying, and that's why, because at the end of every single YouTube short, they will say that to make it loop. Alright? So I think at random intervals during conversations, the optimal play is just to do that. You know? Because if I do that, I can just use any piece of conversation that I have from any stream and turn it into a short. Simple as that. And that's why. So that's... Get used to that. I think it's going to work. I think it's really going to take off. That's just something that I've been thinking about. Something's been kicking around upstairs. Something the boys in the lab were putting together. Too long, Clown. Too long. Far, far too long. Okay, here's what needs to change also. This needs to be thinner. Okay. Alright. And then we want to do some of these. Like that. Ba-boom. I think I only ever saw one YouTube short scripted a loop like that. Yeah, I've been seeing them a lot with Destiny YouTube shorts. People will explain a build or an exotic and then just loop back to, and that's why. To go down until it hits the middle, then curve up. Kind of like that. So then I can erase that. 5. Big ol' zipper. How do I want to do this big old zipper? I think that's the way. Okay, yeah. And then this is going to be like that, which means I got to realign this bottom, because this is supposed to align with that. There we go. Well, I think I'm going to make it thinner. Or are these thicker? No, that's fine. Okay, okay. The effect is initially lost on me because one of my add-ons makes shorts redirect to a proper YouTube page. Very good stuff, honestly. I should get something like that. I feel like being casually good at something works pretty well to make someone popular, so maybe try to bank on that somehow. Like Backseat being casually good at breaking games, technically being a casual good at Minecraft, that sort of thing. I will be completely upfront with you. That was entirely as a bit. I do not plan on doing that at all. That would be insufferable. Can you imagine if I just randomly started saying, and that's why? That would be horrible. That would be terrible. I would hate doing that. That's one bit I will not commit to. Okay, so... yeah, but it would go viral. That, you know... How about this? It's John Pork. Oh yeah, they should definitely add that. This is looking way better than I expected, and I don't know how to feel about that. I don't know how to feel about that. It's like looking in a mirror, but the mirror shows me a past self of what could have been, and I at one point I averted it, but I've decided to go back to this doomed past. What is this? The shoe? Okay, you can explode. Yeah, that's the guy. That's the guy. That's him. That's the man I've been looking for. Now we just gotta give him life and color. Some vim and vigor. The black bit does look a little bit like a mouth, yeah. I think I'm willing to live with that, though. If I'm not, I'll change it. But for now, I think it should be fine. Alright. No. That, or wait a second, I'm coloring in the wrong part. Whoops. It's actually this part in the middle that's white, isn't it? We've accidentally made a majority of the jacket white, I think. It looks like he starts every conversation with, "Hey guys, oh no. Merrick, I'm sad to inform you that you've just stumbled into a typing quirk. Boulder, please read him his rights." Boulder, read the man his rights. There's nothing I can do for you now. Is Boulder the only one here who's actually read Homestuck? I think so, yes. And that also includes me because I never finished it. I could be doing this a lot faster, so I will try to do so. Alright. So here's a little something that I'm not loving. This protrudes a bit too much. So I'm gonna fix that. And I don't think having this on the bottom is really doing anything for me. But we'll see how I feel once I erase it. I'll need to bring that up more. That might be what I wasn't liking before. I think what's missing is a little bit of a lip here, too. And then thinner on this. Gotta look at the right time. I'll get this. Until then, let me... I'm on the right there. That go on there. That goes here. Hate to say it, but the zipper looks a lot like a tie. I don't know why you hate to say that. I need to follow this curve a little more. Another creator, you know it. Best program, mostly because it's free. I'm liking that now. Okay, that's looking better to me. I drew the lines in the wrong flare. Alright. So then... I need to color the head, too. I shouldn't have done that. Team white. I just made a very specific change and then I undid all of it. Oh. Oh, my lights just flickered. Interesting. Huh. Well. That's fun. I'm just gonna pretend like that's fine. I'm sure it'll be fine. Nothing will happen. Stream won't drop. I won't lose power temporarily. No, I didn't love that yellow, so let's take our yellow. Hi, Toro. Not you. And just saturate it a little more. That iconic jelly yellow that everyone's talking about. So the thing I like about pixel art or at least drawing with this pixel brush, so that everything is very, very clearly defined. And I know exactly how it's going to look, and I'll know exactly when I've made a mistake, and where I can make a change to fix it. It's very... everything's very... what's structured? Everything in its rightful place. And then the zipper will be a gray color, maybe? What are we thinking, folks? What are we thinking? Is it missing something? It's definitely missing something, but what is it missing? The bag does have a lot of empty space. I don't know that there's anything we can do to fill that space, but can I give it little? Can I give it my little eyebrows? Boulder, I'll need you to act as a stylistic reference here as to whether or not this conforms with Hussey's vision. The triangular one? What do you mean the triangular one? That really does look like a mouth. God, no. Has what slightly triangular? Hold on a minute. So you think... What do you mean by that? Slightly triangle. Do you mean diagonal? Let me look at this. Why am I... I'm sorry, hold on. Give me a second. What am I doing? I just need to make sure that this is... No hotkey for this, really? Okay, well... We need to set one. Shift 0, I say. Shift 1. What's off about this? What am I missing? Crumple line on the forehead? Maybe. I'm thinking I need to bring this up more also. Do I have the jacket the right way around? I do, yeah. I need more of this area. That looks and feels better to me. No missing pixels. Yeah, no missing pixels. What's not quite right here? I think I can try and change the line art color for this. So how do they do it? That, and then... So... a little darker and a little more saturated. Just a little bit this way. Like that. First attempt's not going to be great. Let's see what we're working with here. Oh yeah, that's rough. That's rough. I have to go way darker. Alright, we're getting somewhere, but I don't know that that's going to be great here. Well, hold on, let's not get too hasty. No, it looks very out of place. Let's get a little hasty. Let's get it just a little twisted. Unless... Oh, now hold on a minute. That's making progress. That's looking a little better, I think. What if I do that for the whole jacket? Zipper 2? Yeah. How do we feel about that, chat? I'm not sure. I kind of like it, but I'm not sure. More saturated colors? Yeah, I think so. So... I really should have done all these different colors on our own layers, but... we shall suffer for sins of the past, as humans are wont to do. What is going on there? Oh, right, the head is a different... Thankfully, the pixel brush makes color replacement trivial. I wouldn't say trivial. Easier, certainly. Oh, hold on a minute. make this a more saturated yellow. Well, it certainly does make it easy. That is a very obnoxious yellow. But it might be just what we need. Oh, jeez. Alright. And then something like that for our line art, perhaps? How are we feeling about that? I think that works. I think that works. I'll go so far as to say that I quite like that. Oh, power just flickered again. That's bad. That's for the head? Oh no. Alright. No, that looks bad actually. So here's what I'm going to do instead. Add a little bit extra there. Okay. Then, okay, also real quick, just in case. Save. Remember to save your work often. Especially under conditions which may cause you to lose your work. I don't like you. You're gone. You've been erased. Okay. Now, how do we feel about the little mouth? Is that something we need to fix? Okay, that's a very strong no. Okay. Understood. The mouth is not something that needs fixed. Okay. Then in all honesty, I think we're done here for this model. Right? I mean, that's... I mean, they could be twins, really. I mean, if you didn't see me make them, you wouldn't be able to tell these two apart. Mine will blink, that's true. Or it could blink. I don't need it to. Fucking Sneaky Snitch. I keep forgetting that I have Sneaky Snitch in this playlist. It's so stupid. I think that's the one. Although this does present some unique difficulties as far as how I'm going to use this as a model. Because you may be able to tell. But it's just a little bit smaller than the usual model that I have. Just a skosh, right? Just a little bit smaller than my usual fare. That does provide some challenges. I think exact 2 times nearest neighbor scaling will work. You're going to need to run me through what those words mean in that sequence. I'm going to make a layer. Hold on. Group layer. Honestly, this is a good sketch. This is a good sketch. This turned out well. Where's the original? Iteration in design. I see. Alright. John, you know I deleted the wrong man. John, you're missing your regalia. There you go, buddy. Over there. I'll put you up there. So this is just nice, all one clean group here. Oh, I have caps lock on them. I see. Miscellaneous off. And then I can do little guy. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to copy this little guy. Then I'm going to paste the little guy. So now I've got 2 little guys. And then condense this little guy. Little guy merged. Now, how do I do that thing that you're telling me to do? Help. I'm back. Sorry about that. I was taking a few bites. I made... Well, for the stream, I made a big bowl of a hodgepodge rice bowl. And I couldn't eat all of it, so taking a few intermittent bites. I added some curry powder to it this time, which I do not normally do. And I'm going to be doing that every single time that I make that from now on. Because curry powder tastes really good. That sounds really... It tastes really, really good. Select the whole thing. Layer. Resize layer. I'm transform. No. Layer. New. Import. Convert. Select. Group. Layer. Transform. I'm not seeing resize layer. Scale layer to new size. Okay. Will constrain proportions make it... Is that what I want to do? Alright, and then... Pixel to percent. Uh-oh. I'm sending it back to Pixel. I'm scared. Something has happened. Oh, man. Big stretch. I see auto nearest neighbor. We got that set. Nearest neighbor. What's up, Ruben? You know you don't have to sit here the entire time staring at me. You can just go downstairs if you want. You don't need me to follow you. You can just go. Did you know that? Ruby, you've been living here for 4 years now. Did you know that you can just go downstairs? Were you aware that was an option available to you? That look in your eyes tells me that you didn't. Yeah. You can just go downstairs. Yeah. I know. It's crazy. Set the width to 318. And hit OK. Oh! That seemed to do the trick. Alright, now that's looking a little better. Big guy. Okay, now what would be the 3 times? I have to ask? No, it's fine. 3 times, it would be too large, but it would be funny. Okay. We're just gonna sort of... There you go. I think in theory you should be able to just switch over to percent instead of pixels and type in 300. I see. I see. Now, the question is, do we want to animate this big guy? They do blink, that's true. How do they blink? When someone blinks in Homestuck, how do they blink? Those eyes are definitely different sizes. The more that the more that I look at them, they're definitely different sizes. It's that they're. Hold on. Let's just. Oh yeah. Really? Have I ever mentioned that the paste tool is not very good at... Okay, there we go. He's just a little guy. He's just a little guy. Okay, you got... There you go. Alright. Okay. So... How do I want to do this, then? Single thin line frame every once in a while. Okay. Thank you. So here's what we gotta do. Big guy has got to be part of his own layer now. Or his own group here. Add group layer. Big guy, in you go. New group layer. Big guy's eyes. So big guy's eyes, we're gonna need. How are we gonna do this? First of all, we gotta fill in the gap. Oh, come on. There you go. Oh, oh. That was scary, but we're fine. It's all right. Alright, so. What's up, baby? Oh, did you hear something? You perked up, what's up? You okay? Okay. So let's see. We're now going to be working at double the pixel size, so I think I would need a 10 pixel brush, is that correct? It's not quite the same. Oh no, it definitely is quite the same. It's just not going to be as rough as it used to be. So this will be 6. Oh no. Uh-oh. Anyway. Okay, we're safe. Are there any other missing pixels that I should know about? I thought we were done with the pixel hunting after Grim Fandango. God damn. Is that one? It was! Oh, right. Also, I need to know, before I show this to you all, did anyone ever catch the change that I made to the robot model during the Talos Principle 2 streams? Did anyone ever catch the change that I made? Didn't fix the head, no. No, it's still... How do I... Is it M? Yeah, it's still offset a little. Oh, God. Don't... No, don't. No. Don't do that. Alright. No. It's not that. Didn't add shadows or lights, no. Watch closely. Do you see anything? Anything interesting happening there? Anything out of place, perhaps? No, not the antenna. The text. The text where, Boulder? The screen, indeed. The screen, indeed. It's been there the entire time. Used to just be... No, it used to be nothing on there but the screen itself. Like the TV static. I added that after the third stream, whenever we started liberating the cubes. It's been there the entire time. If you go back and check the streams, every time I blink, it's there. I was wondering if anyone noticed that. Making art is fun. I like drawing. I like drawing and coloring. So here's what I gotta do. Now. Big guys, oh, voice crack, no, not like this. Then I need 2 layers, add group layer. Add group layer. It's going to be open. It's going to be closed. Now you might think open and closed refers to the eyes. As a matter of fact, it does not. It actually refers to the mouth. Alright. Next. Oh no, these aren't going to be the same. No, they're not going to be the same at all. They're not. They're just not going to work. So here's what I got to do. Trust me on this one. Alright, little guy. No, I don't want it to be exact. That's fine. That's the way it's supposed to be. Okay. So I take this. Alright. And then I do all that fancy shit that you taught me. Scale layer to new size. It's supposed... So percentage is supposed... Yeah, that's weird. That's weird. Very strange. Alright, I can do math. I can do math, so that's going to be 248. Oh yeah, now we're cooking with gas. Slide those bad boys right on over. Ba-boom. Perfect. Nothing to it. So Close 1. Close 2. Does Create not let you drag your mouse cursor to rescale it however big you want? It does, but whenever I rescale, I need to make sure that it's exactly twice as big. Otherwise, that happens. See? I should have added Homestuck music to the playlist. God damn it. That's what I'm missing. No. Okay, no, I can still fix this. Alright. Separate. There it is. Boulder already knows what song I've just added to the playlist. From just that little bit, Boulder already knows what song I've added to the playlist. What song is that, Boulder? I'm trusting you. From those 2 notes. That one... That's enough. That's enough for now. Oh! Power flickered again. Save. Oh, right. It was 3 notes. And you are correct. It was Moonsetter. Moonsetter is a fucking banger. Alright, we'll let this one finish. And then I'll refresh so that the new stuff is added to the playlist. I got 3 new songs in there. Where was I? Right. New eyes. Closed 2. Sell me on Homestuck. Merrick? I do not think that that is a feat I am capable of. Alright? The only way that I could sell you on Homestuck is by asking you to read, like, the... what would you say is a good dip into Homestuck, Boulder? You don't need Princess... Well, that's good, because none of the characters usually have arms. So you won't be getting many of those. I'm not saying you're not going to get any, but you might get some of them. Don't give me the weak-ass normie saw. Okay, here, okay, listen. You want to know the problem? Alright? You want to know the real problem? So I know we have Moonsetter. And you know I added Time on my side, so we're gonna switch to the secret third option. The banger. Okay. So here's the thing. I don't know why I like Homestuck. It's just a foundational part of my upbringing. It's just sort of in there. I don't know what I enjoyed about it, only that I did enjoy it. So I got into Homestuck before I developed any media literacy. I apologize. It's a banger. Pumpkin Party and See Hitler's Water Apocalypse, baby. Oh, it's so good. It's so good. It might be a little too stimulating, though, I won't lie. It's definitely too stimulating. thing about Homestuck is that the narrative just keeps growing in complexity while still wrapping back with itself. Yeah, I'd say that's a relatively accurate description. I'm just trying to think. Here's the thing about this, Merrick, is that despite considering you to be a good friend at this point, I can't say that I have a very firm grasp. Oh, wow, that's competing. We'll turn that down a little. I don't have a firm grasp of what exactly you enjoy in media, so I don't know how to target you, alright? You're doing the sell me this pen, and I haven't even asked, are you in the market for a pen? You know? I failed the first step, so are you perhaps in the market for an obscenely long webcomic that I swear gets good? You know, that's the first step of marketing. Layer, transform, scale. $250? Yeah, that's how it works. I can do math. Oh, that wasn't a bit. Okay. Gotcha. I will say, one of the things that I very much enjoy about Homestuck is that the characters within it are all very distinct in very fun ways. I think there are a lot of characters that I think in a vacuum you would say, I have no idea how these two characters would interact with one another. But whenever they do interact, it's always good, and everyone has a pretty unique dynamic with everyone else. They're also, yes, very authentic. Going back and reading some of Dave's dialogue, bangers in there. Dave is so good. It's a time capsule in the early 2000s. Yes, they do say a gamer word here and there. Nothing bad. Well, some of them are bad. Some of them are bad. But it's not like racism. It definitely taps into that early 2000s internet culture, which is nice. I'm just now noticing this is a little... It's fine. It's fine. I didn't notice it until I looked at it for too long. Let's just... Yeah, that's how it's supposed to look. Oh no, I didn't mute. I didn't mute for the sniffle. That's bad audio, folks. I apologize. I'm gonna turn this down a little bit more now. I'm gonna play the other... I'm gonna switch to another Homestuck side. I love you, the Bard, but... we gotta go for Moonsetter. Moonsetter is gorgeous. Okay, that's a closed eye blink if I've ever seen one, or an open blink if I've ever seen one. So we're gonna move that to open, and we're gonna try that again. Or I can be economical about things. Check this out. We have technology. Okay, but now that looks a little sad. But it's fine. It's fine. That's good. Boom. Easy money. Now here's the little trick. Here's the prestige Alright? The way that I make... I turn open. Or I turn closed into open. Let's just... copy that. No. Alright, fine. Turn that on. Alright. Alright, you ready for this? You ready for this? Oh no, that looks like Okay, so the eye placement does present some problems. The eye placement does present some challenges to my usual format. Have I seen Hive Swap? Oh, I've seen Hive Swap. Yes, it's not in this style. I know that much. But this was too good of a bit to not commit. No, that's good. Closed. Blink. See, the thing is, he already kind of looks like he's looking at us. So here's what's going to happen. Whenever I talk, it's going to look like I'm all shifty-eyed. You know what? That's fine. That's embrace the jank. Embrace the jank. It's fine. So here's what we got to do now. I need to turn off display capture because I need to start saving this, and I don't want you to see. Oh, window capture, game capture, game capture. You decided to work. Thank you. That's really kind of you. Nice. All right. Cool. Delightful. Perfect. So now I don't have to show you my files, I think. Once again, we will save. Let me make sure that I crop it to the right size first before I do that. Uh-oh. Well, that's fine. Sometimes you get a pixel shaved off your shoe. It happens. You learn to live with it. You live, laugh, love, and you fuck. I didn't crop that right. That's gonna be a primo clip from Eric right there. That one's gonna be evergreen, baby. Damn it. Damn it. God damn it. Bagchan, new model. New folder. Sburban. Gave it an Oxford comma and everything, damn it. Motherfucker. Every time you say that was a clip from Eric, I wasn't listening, so I appreciate that about it. No, the self-reports are what make the stream worth watching, I guess. Sburban closed 1. Is it an Oxford comma if the list doesn't have commas? I'll get back to you on that one. I'm not from Oxford, so I'm not really an authority on the matter, so to speak. Close Closed blink. Open one. Open two. And open three. And then... Oh no! No, I didn't move him! Uh-oh. It'll be fine. No one panic! No one panic, we're fine. We're okay. That's too damn cute, man. It's... I don't deserve to be that cute. It's not right. It's a little guy. Okay, so everything is saved. Now it's time. Instead of making the GIF in Krita, which Krita is perfectly capable of doing, I will instead go to GIF Maker. God, this is so strange to behold. This is so strange to behold. This is like a childhood pipe dream realized. This is so weird. Sburban open 1, Sburban open 2, Sburban open 3. Sburban open animated. Okay. And now I'll be back. Sburban. Oh God, look at this little guy. Look at this little guy. Look at him. What a charming young man. What a charming little fellow he is. Look at that. Look at this dandy little lad. It's so good. It's so good. Oh man, it's good. I need a perfectly generic... What do you mean a perfectly generic object? God, the turn works a little bit better than I was expecting. I really am looking directly at you now. The green... No, we can't replace this cube. We can't. You know how hard we worked to free this one? We can't. Alright. It's just paint, it'll wash off. Okay, let me put you back in the right spot, because I don't want to have to figure out where that is later. So there we go. This will be our model for the Homestuck streams, I suppose. Although I don't want this one to shake around to vibe. Oh. Wait, can I make him just keep... Can I make him keep jumping up and down? Is that... No, that's worse. That's bad. I don't like that. I can do a little jump from side to side. I can do a shaking. No, I think just a little jump whenever this guy talks is good. Just a little jump. Looking good. Looking real good. Oh boy. And here's what I gotta do. I gotta Control C, and then I gotta Z, 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 Z. All the way back until before I cropped it. Alright, and then take the open blink. Replace it. Where are you? No. You're in the wrong place. You missed your cue. Oh god. Now I need to find the right spot. Where was it? Now there was just no point in copying it to begin with. No. Speaking of things, what a delightfully vague segue. Please continue. The writer of the TF2 comics, yes, continue. The writer of the TF2 comics confirmed that number 7 is being drawn right now. Oh! That is big news. What are you doing here? Hey, why are... Oh, that's little guy. That's little guy. Hold on. Little guy. Come here, little guy. Actual scale for reference. Can we go smaller? Can we take little guy and make him even littler? Surely we can, yes? What's half of 290 exactly? That would be 180, right? Is that how that works? No, that's not it at all. That's horrible. That's, oh my god, my math is so bad. No. You're right, 145. Oh, it doesn't quite work. He's getting a little crunchy. He's getting a little crunchy. He's getting a little crunchy. But can we go smaller? Transform. Scale to new size. That one's easy. That's 40. When you're playing Pokemon Ruby and Sapphire, and you start the game and you select your character and it shrinks the battle sprite down to your little walking sprite of the overworld. So stupid. How little can we get this guy? Oh man. If you click on the Tool Options tab above the color picker, you can change the scale tool to be nearest neighbor as well. Oh. Oh no. Was that millimeters already? I think it was decimeters. I can't remember. Stop. No, no. I'm trying to scroll down. I don't want to adjust things. This one. Nearest neighbor. Nice. Alright. But now, even littler guy. 2A, remember that. That's the code. He's getting even tinier. My son, he is 1 grain of rice tall. But can we go smaller? It's a little snake! It's a little snake! Look at that! The homunculus. In its larval stage. Try the scaling tool now. Oh! He's gone. No, I wanna move it. No. Truly, they are one and the same. So fucking stupid looking. Now, what if... Uh-oh. Big guy, what happened to your eyes? Alright, I took them. Sorry, let me give them back. Alright. No, stop. Go away. Back to the original size. That's nice. I like having that. That works well. But how big can we go? The biggest guy. Who exists in all things. Okay. The little guys. The mini-verse of maths. +2 on that one. It's good stuff. Alright. Well, there is our Homestuck model. The shoes really make the outfit look like some sort of fucked up gamer tuxedo. What? I'm not seeing it. I wish that I could, you could grant me your eyes so that I might see. God, that rice bowl is so good. Grant us eyes. Grant us eyes. And then he probably does some shit like... That's a proper Soulsborne laugh, right? Is that good? Maybe a bit too much energy behind it. Hold on. It's more like a... You know? I'm available. You need me to make some weird noises. I'm here for you. Merrick's got it. Entire folders on his computer dedicated to that fact. I think... Oh, no, cancel, hold on. Save as... Create a document. New model sheet. Where's new model sheet? New model sheet, there you are. Perfect. All right. I mean, normally I have more to do on these, but you know, we've been live for 3.5 hours, as a matter of fact, and we got our guy. I did have an idea for something else that I wanted to draw. But I want some feedback. All right, I want some feedback on this. Now, my plan is to play Transistor next. That was originally the plan. And playing Transistor would necessitate making a model for Transistor. Well, it wouldn't necessitate it, but I would want to make a model for Transistor as well, right? Now, I did also buy the Talos Principle 2 DLC, and I plan on streaming that as well. So, do we want to go mainline Talos Principle till it's done, or something else then Talos Principle? What are we thinking, chat? What are we thinking? God, this guy's beady little eyes. Whenever he blinks, I know there's nothing behind. That skull is hollow. That bag is empty. The groceries have been dropped off already. You'd say continue Talos? We're reaching Talos saturation. That's what I'm worried about. But, take a small break from Talos Principle for variety purposes. So here's what I'm thinking. Yeah, no, next stream 100% is going to be Hive Swap. That's what we're doing next, 100%. So, Hive Swap. So I'm wondering if I should do Hive Swap, then Talos, or if I should do Hive Swap, Transistor, Talos. I think I'm going to do Hive Swap, Transistor, then Talos. That's what I'll do. I'll do Hive Swap, Transistor, Talos. Because that'll give us... I'm expecting Hive Swap to be like, what? Boulder, do you think like a 2-streamer? Or what are we thinking? 1 or 2-streamer? Two-streamer, okay. So it'll be a 2-streamer. I'll do another art stream where I'm making my Transistor model. Then Transistor, then back to Talos Principle with the DLC. And then after that, probably Factorio. Yeah, sounds like a plan. We'll do that. So, one more save just in case. Alright. That, then, is going to be a stream. I think I'm very happy with how this turned out. It looks very dumpy, and I love it. I'm a big fan of it. Got some good music selection, and I'm looking forward to it. Merrick, sorry about Valorant, although I don't know how married you were to that idea, but I've widowed you nonetheless. So, I apologize, but you got your channel points back, so all is fair. And then again, of course, we do have the new channel point rewards, which are technically the same channel point rewards, but, you know, just a little different. I'm trying to come up with more interesting ones. I was considering one that was choose my outfit, but that kind of requires the person to know which ones that we have available. Right? Well, I guess I could just list them in the description of the thing. I'll figure it out. I want to do something with the outfits, because I think that would be fun. But I don't know. There's always more that I want to do with the stream, and never quite enough jelly willpower to figure it out. I got my stream points back, but now it's not enough points to suggest another game. That is a little jive, I won't lie. I'll figure it out. A wheel sugar with all the outfits selected random? I guess. Yeah. I'll think of something. I'll toss some ideas around in the old noggin, since clearly, I mean, look at this guy. There's nothing else up there. And we'll see what we like. Oh! I can't end stream when I have fan art to show off. Hold on. Give me just a second here. What am I working with here? What am I working with? In fan art channel, I think we've got 2 things to show off. Unless, did I show off? I showed off Somnium Chan. Yeah, I showed off Somnium Chan during the Marbles, which I'm still very much in love with. That one's so good. That one's so good. The Fia one is still my favorite, though. I still think about that daily. It's so good. We do have this one to show off. As always, courtesy of Flora. I'll just, I can probably just paste it right on in here, right? Is it alright if I show the night? I thought it was pretty cool. Put that on in there. There we go. Oh god, gotta shrink it down just a little bit. Courtesy of Flora. Another night jelly. This is so good. It's so good. I love the way you drew the plume. I also really like this. I like the little yellow cloth wrapped around the arm. That looks nice. It looks very nice. And the greaves as well. Boots are good. Boots are good. I like that the Sabatons have little spurs. Very nice. Very nice. I also... How did you color this? Is this watercolor? Or no, that's got to be a marker over top of pen, right? No, it looks a little watercolory. How'd you color it? Man, the rendering on that armor looks fantastic. That's good. That's really good. That's very good. Thank you very much, Flora. Appreciate it. and then my guy in comparison. Fan art versus fan artist. So fucking stupid. Apparently ladies would give knights, relatives, or lovers a piece of cloth to take on their journey and bring back home, so I added a little cloth. Saved many chance. One must have given you one before you dipped. You get it. Flora, you understand. I've said it so many times, but you just get it. You get it. Imagine... Thank you, Merrick. I'll always here to make sure we're staying grounded. Alright, well. This has been what I would call, well, a strange stream, very much so, considering we spent the first half of it, or first hour of it, fiddling around in Talos Principle 2, then a little bit on a blank screen, just talking philosophy, narrative, and then we finally got around to art at a certain point, you know? We got there eventually. So it all worked out in the end. It's about it's about the destination, not the journey. Sometimes. So, thank you very much for hanging out. Thanks for watching another art stream. I keep saying that I need to do these more often. You know, every once in a while, I think I'm just gonna do maybe a late night unplanned art stream. I don't think... Well, that's the rough part. I don't think anyone in my regular audience will be able to attend what I would consider late night. Like, if I started streaming at 8 p.m. my time, which is 4 hours from now, I think all of you reasonably should be asleep at that point. I think every single one of you is in a European time zone where that would be past midnight. That would... Yeah, that would be late. I'll think about it. I'll think about it. Maybe. Maybe. There's a chance. I want to find a way to force myself to draw more. And I think that drawing on stream with a kind of audience helps me, because it gives me someone to bounce my ideas off of vocally, rather than just internally. Either way, we'll see. As for the next stream, maybe Friday, but we're on a little bit of a chaos schedule because I'm working things out in terms of getting real life stuff done. But maybe an early stream more than late. Maybe. My only problem is that I understand that I'm very loud, and I usually only get up at 10 a.m. So I don't want to be up and active super early in the morning for me. But I'll figure it out. Either way, thank you very much for watching. I'm going to say this one more time as always just because I'm paranoid. Thank you very much for watching. Appreciate it. Hope you all had a good time. I know that I certainly did, as always. And next time you see me, I'll be looking a little something like this guy here. And we'll be playing Hive Swap Act 1. Have a good one, folks. See ya.